Fireside Chat.
Michael, I gotta ask you first and foremost, how'd you do that?
Very well.
That's a good answer.
Very well. Yeah. I performed at the Magic Castle in Hollywood. You want to know who was in my audience that night?
Yes, I do.
Marilyn Manson. What?
Wow. All right, there are
To the people in the back, that's one person. To the people in the front, that's two people.
I can help. He's sort of like the Neil Diamond of the 90s.
Yeah, so that's how I did it. Yeah.
Nice. And
Thanks for having me, by the way. This is fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you could be here. It's
Yeah.
it's nice to have a solid pro as right in our first Fireside Chat.
I was in Minneapolis this morning, and it was a blizzard. And then yesterday morning I was in Chicago, and it was like a blizzard except for rain. It was awful.
And now you're in lovely Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
No blizzard.
No, it's a blizzard of mustaches. A lot of mustaches in Pittsburgh.
I can't say that.
None in the room, though. So, good job, you guys.
I'm working on one right now.
How many years?
2 or 3, yeah.
So in your introduction, it mentioned that you had spent some time performing for the troops overseas.
I did, yeah.
That sounds like that would be a pretty incredible gig.
It was, yeah, it's always great. I've done a few tours now for the troops. I spent this Christmas in Asia. I was in 7 countries in 12 days doing shows for the troops. So, that's not for them. That's why I did it, yeah. Because they need, I mean, I was in some places where they just needed some good entertainment because they're way out, away from their families a lot of times. So, yeah.
And I mean, when you were there, what was it? What was the atmosphere? What did it feel like to be there? I mean, were you in a combat zone?
No, I did spend a month performing in Korea once, where technically, I mean, I was there before all the escalation of recent, but it's a war zone there. Technically, I mean, they get hazard pay for being there.
Did you get hazard pay?
No, I got magician pay, which is just below.
That's all right. That's decent.
Just below. So it's really strange in Korea, especially. I did a show in the DMZ, and something actually.
That TV show? TMZ?
Yeah. There's a bunch of cameras.
I understand, yeah. They get right in the soldiers' faces.
D.
Oh, DMs. Yeah, okay. Where you get your license.
That's right. That's right. So I went to Korea to get my driver's license.
As you do.
And yeah, actually, I have a really funny story about that. But it's crazy because there's a combination of like razor wire and machine guns and tour buses. It's a really strange combination of, like, there are landmines that are active if you go off the road, and they're like, don't do anything, because the North Koreans are watching you, and you can see them when you're driving through the joint security area. You can see them with binoculars watching you, and they say don't gesture at them because they'll give them something to say that we're the aggressors. It's really, really tense, but at the same time, there's like tour buses. It's crazy. It's a really, really bizarre, surreal situation there.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's the show where I made a mistake. Yeah, I do it.
Was it like the you almost got killed kind of mistake?
World War III mistake?
No, not that severe.
Okay.
I do a thing in my show with a rubber chicken and a couple other latex items.
Sounds like a variety entertainer show.
Yeah. And I bring a girl on stage, and what I do is actually a little bit embarrassing, but I always pick someone who I know is going to be a good sport. So this girl was great, and she she was a very good-looking girl, and the soldiers were kind of, they were catcalling and doing the whole thing. And she was great, and everyone was having a good time, but I really embarrassed her good. After the show, I was packing up, and a guy came up to me and said, "You know that girl you had up on stage?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Did you know that's the general's daughter?"
Oh no!
I said, "No." It wasn't an up top type of thing. Now I can probably do it, but then I would have been like, "Gotta go." He said, no, the guy told me, he said, "The general's backstage, he wants to talk to you when you're done packing up." I said, "I'm done packing up." So I went back there, and he was standing over me. He looked like, imagine Eisenhower plus about 150 pounds. Like, he was a big man, bald and tall, and very tall, looked down at me with just piercing eyes. And he said, "That's the funniest shit I've ever seen." And he shook my hand. He was messing with me. It was his daughter, but he had a great time, and he bought me drinks all night long.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So that was my night in the DMZ.
And I would imagine that the difference between a general messing with you and really about to mess you up is probably a pretty fine line.
Yeah, he's really good at doing that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
When you've got that star. He was a one-star brigadier general at the Army, and I'm sure I wasn't the first person that he's made poop themselves.
Yeah.